Practice number 10 today. Our first time in Dowdy Ficklen Stadium, our first time scrimmaging as a full-out practice and to the ground, tackling, those type of things. It's good to be in Dowdy, good to step in here, talk to our players this morning and last night just about, when we step into Dowdy, it turns up. It's different, and it needs to be different because how special this place is, how special our fan base makes it, and our environment makes it. So thank you to those folks that do that. Obviously, some things at Scrimmage 1 you really like. I thought we did good early on, executing on both sides of the football. We were playing the game the right way with effort and with energy. Now we got to keep sharpening up that execution piece. I thought later in the scrimmage we kind of faded a little bit. We actually did a little conditioning there at the end just to make sure we are moving to game ready for 3 weeks. I think we played about 120 snaps a day. Obviously, a game would be about 150 snaps, offense, defense, plus special teams. So we're getting there. We're getting closer. We got to keep continuing to push. I challenged the guys from last Saturday, practice forward of this Saturday. Did we get better every single day? I think we did. But I still think we have a long ways to go. I think this not near game ready. I think we got a lot of things we got to clean up: communication, discipline, execution. Had too many penalties today, which is expected. First time you got officials out, we try to simulate that in practice with strength coaches officiating and stuff. But we got those guys out today, so that was good to have those guys and appreciate them being here. But we got to continue to push. By next Saturday we'll scrimmage again. We got to push and see how much closer we can get the game ready. And we ain't got much time. It's going to count down quickly, and we got a long ways to go.
What impressed you most today?
Yeah, thanks, Stephen, for the question. I thought early on, just both sides of the ball, we could run the football up front. Coming off the ball up front, I thought we did a good job with that. At times, blocked okay in the perimeter. Defensively, I thought we flew around. We got to do a better job on the edges defensively, keeping it there. Ashton Gray and those running backs, T.J. Engelman, continue to flash, which we know they will. We just got to get it blocked on the edge and perimeter, and those guys will make some plays happen, and that'll open up the pass game as well.
That last part of practice seemed pretty intense. What did you want to see from your guys on that high speed?
Yeah, so a couple of things there. If you're talking about the red zone, just kind of thought we needed a little extra red zone work there. I'd like to see those guys step it up and finish the right way, and just thought we just kind of wasn't quite the energy we needed to have. And then the tempo drills, something we usually start practice out with, is just kind of, hey, get line, get set, get my cleats in the ground, communication on both sides of the football. Chase the ball on both sides of the football, and we do 4 plays usually just to begin practice. It's kind of an opener. But today just kind of, hey, we need to focus on our condition a little bit. I think if you go an extra couple of series, you're kind of risking some injury in those cases. If you just line up on the sideline and run, it's not really playing football. That's a close drill to playing football as you can get without it being risking more injury at the end of a practice when a guy's tired and still playing football at the same time.
What did you see out of your quarterbacks today?
You see some good things. I think they're starting to get where they need to be. I'm excited about both of them. I think we can start to get a little separation there between them. I think they're moving in the right direction. I'd like to see them, not take some negative plays. I thought Emery took a sack today. I wish he'd just throw the ball away and reset the chains there. And then Mitch at one time tried to throw it away, didn't throw it away far enough, and the defense picked it off. So those 2 plays, we just got don't turn a bad play into a worse play. Don't turn a snowflake into an avalanche. So it's okay for an incomplete pass, gain of 0. We'll survive with that and we'll figure it out. So those are things though that you got to get out here and play the game. You can't talk about that enough in the film room and it correlate. You got to get out here and experience it. So I thought we made a move in the right direction there today.
Did you guys stay pretty healthy today?
We did. You have a few just bumps and bruises, but you're gonna have that in a practice. We got a couple guys that they got bumped up a little bit in practice this week, but I fully expect them to be back next week and going. And by next Saturday they'll be scrimmaging as well. So all those things are moving in the right direction. You always knock on wood every time you step out here that you can come out of this thing healthy, because it's going to take everybody to get through this thing and make this thing happen and put this thing together. And I thought we came out pretty healthy today.
Any big standouts on the defensive side of the ball today?
You guys always ask me defensive questions. I'm never happy with the defense, so you know that. So it gets me going. Zaire Gamble, he's in a red jersey, so he got the tag off, so he didn't miss any tackles today. That's a standout. I think we can always play better. I think DJ Johnson's shown flashes, he can play better. Ashton Levels at corner, shown flashes, he can play better. Those rushes, whether it be Julian Davis, Kendrick DeJour, have shown flashes, but they can play better. Kieran Davis has got to get in shape to play better. So Ryan Rosenborough, is getting better. He needs a long ways to go. He's got to get his butt in shape to play at a first-team level. Some of those guys, they just happen to be with the first-team group because they've been here for a while, but they got to start raising their game to play at a first-team level and play the intensity and the effort and the energy and the enthusiasm that we need to play with.
As a group, what impressed you that you saw today, and what do you want to see more of coming into next Saturday scrimmage?
Yeah, just clean it up. One of our things is Pirates don't beat Pirates, and I think we had about 12 or 13 penalties today. We got to definitely clean that up. Those things will get you beat in the ball game. Take better care of the football. Don't take those negative plays offensively. Defensively, we got to clean up some tackling, do a little better job running the ball. Didn't think it was awful, but I think it can always be better. So if you'll clean those things up between now and next Saturday, it's a move in the right direction. For the most part, our install is pretty much done. We got a few things to tweak, a few things to add. But for the most part, it's pretty complete. Next week, we'll get into a few more special situations in a scrimmage and make sure we're ready to go for that. But it'll be a big week for us. It's still in camp. I know we start school Monday, so a lot of people's mind, hey, you're done with camp. No, we're still going at it, and we still got a long ways to go. We still got a lot of positions that are competing. We got a lot of guys that are competing to see where we are, and then we'll kind of compete for another week, kind of finish up camp before we turn our focus to opponent number one.
Are you seeing Mitch and Emery kind of support each other during this battle?
They're awesome. This thing would be a lot easier, and I thought about this last night because I knew I was going to get asked these questions. This thing would be a lot easier if one of them didn't have a great attitude, if one of them didn't understand the offense, one of them wasn't very good. This thing would be a lot easier to figure it out and just say, hey, this is going to be our guy and this is who we're rolling with. But they both pull for each other. They both support each other. I see them both bring younger guys along, mentoring those guys, and continue to push the offense in the right way. I think they understand, either who's out there, if they can take the ball down the field and score, that's going to help us win games, and that's the most important thing.
What considered this week, this will be one of the hardest weeks of the season in camp. How do you kind of reflect on the progress made over the course of the 6 weeks?
Yeah, I think the reason I was saying earlier in the week it's going to be one of the hardest weeks of the camp and maybe of the season because you go 6 straight days. Camp is meant to be tough. We're meant to go through tough things. We just talked about that in the practice. We can't be tough or we can't be physical. We can't be hard. All those things, whatever words you want to use, if we don't put them in those type of situations. So we try to do that this week by going 6 straight days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is our 6 straight days. It won't be like that the rest of the season. Next week we have tomorrow off. We have next Thursday off. So the rest of the season, the most you really go is about 3 days in a row before you really get an off day or a walkthrough day and kind of recover with your body, which you need. This game requires a lot physicality out of you and a lot of running those things out of you. So you need to recover. But this was a tough week. I thought we pushed through it. I didn't see guys, just trying to check a box and get through it. I thought they went and attacked it every single day. And that's what you want to see from your football team. I think we have a chance to do some good things this year, but we got to go attack it every single day like we did this week.
One more question.
Coach, with high school football starting next Friday, and
Yeah.
you got a background
Yeah.
there. And another thing added to your plate, you want to show your face, your coaches' faces around these schools. What's that like adding that?
Yeah, there's no question. I started as a high school coach. I was at Fuquay-Varina, McDowell High School, Franklin High School, where I'm from. Kind of where my heart is. I always thought I would just be a high school coach, mow grass, run the weight room, and that would be it. But so shout out to all the folks out there getting started game one. Best of luck to everybody. Excited to kind of watch some ball, see our guys. I know we got a bunch of guys who have verbally said they're going to attend ECU playing, and I'm excited to see those guys play. My oldest daughter's just starting at Rose High School, had her first couple of volleyball games. Was able to sneak over there the other day, and pretty cool to watch. So that give me a little bit more flexibility to see some Rose football this season. And then Coach Hankins' son is a junior over at D.H. Conley, so I know he wants to go over there and see him as much as possible. But for our coaches and our community, it's very important that we get coaches out. The NCAA has actually allowed us to get 17 guys on the road this fall, so that kind of allows us a little bit more flexibility about getting the games and those type of things.
You get home in time for touchdown Friday.
We'll go one more question. Y'all want to know about class of 22?
Coach,
Yeah.
oh, sorry. Do you want to ask?
Yeah, it's the class of 22.
Yeah, just update on those
Yeah,
guys.
so the class of 22, we've initiated that process. We've initiated those things, getting that ball rolling. Obviously, the plaintiffs, the athletes had to have their arguments in yesterday. The NCAA has to have their arguments into the 10th Circuit on Monday, and then we'll kind of wait for a decision by then. I think by midweek is kind of the feeling it'll come out. It could take till next Friday. It could be 2 weeks. I think as you look at this thing, like I have extreme loyalty to those 3 young men that would qualify under this court ruling and be eligible for a 5th year. They've always been Pirates. They started their career here. They helped us win a bunch of games. They understand what our expectation is, what our accountability is. So extreme loyalty to them. But at the same time, I got to take care of the locker room and loyalty to that piece too, and making sure that we don't disrupt that, causing any ripples. So we're going to start to integrate those guys back in. I'm very careful about fully integrating them right away and just throwing them out there right away. One's for injury for their sake. Two is, what if this court ruling goes the other way against those guys and you're pulling them back off the field? I think they got to be prepared for that emotionally, but your locker room, you got to don't want to upset that thing too much. So there's a lot of things that take in factor there. We'll kind of have those guys academically. They kind of initiated that process medically, and then we'll start to get them back in shape. And then as soon as this thing goes through, that way they're ready to go and ready to be a piece of it. I've talked to our players. I brought this up to our leadership council about 12 days ago in preparation for this, and just seeing how this thing plays out. And really, it's not those three guys or any of the class of 22's fault, not our team's fault, no coach. It's just, it kind of is what it is. You learn to deal with it. You can control what you control, and when a curveball comes your way, you take your best hack at it, and we certainly will. I do think they could help us win football games. I think they would be good teammates, and I think they're the right type of guys to step in our locker room and help us move forward if that plays out. And we'll see. Our fingers are crossed for those young men. I mean, you're looking at Sam Danka played, I think, about 75, 90 snaps his freshman year. He played just special teams. He played only about 6 games, and the redshirt rule was 4 at the time. So for a young man like that, you're really adding, a year back. That he came in with Brock Spalding, he came in with Conrad, he came in with Preston Carr. So all those guys are in the same class. It'd be nice to see all those guys go out. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and see how it goes. But at the same time, we got to control what we know and take care of our football team and get ready to win games and make sure we're ready to play in front of Pirate Nation here in a couple weeks.
Thanks, Coach.